We are going to discuss in this video lecture 2 about internet basics. We are going in this video to discuss a little bit about the history of the internet of computers, networks, what is TCP, what's IP, what's internet evolution, something about the internet evolution, internet basics, what's a web browser, discuss the IP address, domain name, firewall, and VPN. So, starting with the evolution of computer networks, a network formed by the cooperative interconnection of a large number of computers is an internet. The idea of the network started from the need to communicate, the need to transmit data between computers. It started in Russia in 60s, I think, in Sputnik. Uh, they started between two small computers, and this network started to increase with time till we reached a whole, if you want, a worldwide internet. So the internet, it is the network of networks, if you want. So mainly we started with connecting small devices with each others. Let's say this one in LEU, let's say. Then they found that they need to do a connection between LEU and other universities. So they started this connection between universities. Then this huge network also created a need for to connect to another network till we reached the network of networks, which is the internet you are using today. So in the 60s, they started. They found that they need internet, they need network, they need to connect those computers. Uh, the first thing they faced while connecting those computers is the communication between those computers. At the beginning, the computers should be the same. The networks should start and end in the same vendor, which makes things hard to communicate. Uh, those networks we've drawn before looked like at the beginning looked like as isolated islands. We cannot communicate if they are not with from the same vendor. So to solve this issue, we we found that we need a common language. We need to communicate in the right way. We need to talk with each others in the right way. So we need this common language. With time, we started uh, creating a common language, creating a common standard, till we reached a TCP/IP standard, which we are still using till now. This standard is for two separate protocols that work together to ensure that the data is delivered in the right way. So sending data from this PC to this PC or from this PC to this PC needs a certain standard to send. Adding to this, increasing the number of PCs will make an issue in naming those PC. So an IP address came to indicate the PC we are working with. So quickly, if you want to go in 1950s, they started a network with small computers. 1971, universities were added to networks. First electronic mail was sent in 1972. It was created by Ray Tomlinson, and the first email was sent by the Queen Elizabeth. She was the first one who sent an email. Then in 73, they introduced the VoIP, which is the Voice over Internet Protocol. Then 1982, we want to update the TCP to introduce an update to TCP. It was created in 1970, and then in 1983 we have internet and the TCP/IP standardized, and it's a standard used by worldwide PCs. If you want to check after this uh, time when the internet placed and we started our standards in the 1990s to 2000s, it was the internet of places. We were connecting PCs. It was something weird that computers can be connected, can talk with each other, we can send data using a network. Then, and from 2000 and 2010, they started working on Internet of People, as we all know. And this uh, part of history, Facebook started, WhatsApp started. We started, if you want, communicating throughout internet more. Then 2010, 2020, we started checking Internet of Things, smart metering, we can say smart traffic controllers, and now we are working on or throughout the Internet of wearable things. So we are getting more and more into introducing the network into everything we use in our daily life. So let's take an idea about some internet basics. I think most of you familiar with, but we can revise them in a quick way. So a URL, the URL, it's the Uniform Resource Locator. It is the website, if you want. We call it an website. It is actually the address for a web page. To browse, it means to search, to surf, downloads, to download things. A link, it's multiple links. We are going to see in the last lecture, we are going to see what is an HTML, which is a common, it's a multiple of hyperlinks, and we are going to check also hyperlinks in Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint, how to make a hyperlink and what is a hyperlink. But actually, when you click on your browser or any link, it is a hyperlink. In the last lecture, HTML lecture, we will see how to create this hyperlink. A web browser, we all know what's a web browser. It's the way that reflects your content and make it viewable. It's a graphical interface if you want to show your content. So it converts data from the internet to graphics. For example, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Opera, Google Chrome, Safari. Those are all examples of web browsers. As basic components for a web browser, I think all of you passed through this. We have the arrows for going back and forward. We have the URL place where we put URL, the refresh button, uh, the tabs, new tab, and so on. What's ATCP IP protocol? As we said before, in the increase of the number of computers, we faced a huge problem in communicating. How would we communicate? How can we send data without uh, getting overlapped or without getting sent to the wrong or false or the place that we don't want to send? So we created the transmission central protocol. They created and started working with it to standardize the work of internet. So TCP/IP is transmission central protocol. IP is the internet protocol. Actually, there are two different standards or protocols we use. All the messages that go on the internet, they use the format syntax of TCP/IP. This is the language we are using. So a TCP came to standardize the language. As English, it's a standard language worldwide. Same thing, TCP for internet, it is the standard language worldwide. So if your computer understands TCP/IP, then it could be part of the network and it could work with all the networks. For example, for typical protocols, HTTP, for example, for web browsing, if you can see it, HTTP, two dots, double slashes, this we use it for browsing. FTP, if you replace HTTP with FTP, now you can download, upload files to your website if it is yours. SMTP for sending email, POP3 for receiving email, Telnet for remote access, and IRC for chatting. Those, of course, they are not all the protocols, those the mostly common protocols. As for the IP address, it's the same, guys, as your phone number, exactly the same. So let's say you have a landline which starts with 01 5 4 2 1 3 4. Of course, if you want to call this number worldwide, you should add here 961. So if you want to check, this part will show you the country. This part in your phone number will tell us which district you are in. This one, the first three, will let us know in which street you are living or in which village you are living. So that's why for your landline you can see that all your neighbors have the same first three numbers. And as for the last three numbers, those are your ID. Years ago, guys, the phone at your homes that you used to use uh, was connected to a central point in your destination. So this central point, you just, if you want to call someone, you call the central point and then you tell him, please give me 134. So it will connect you to 134. This is how they used to work. Same thing if you call now LAU, let's say, and you tell them, okay, please, I want this extension. So it was somehow similar. As for the IP address, guys, it is exactly the same manner. the IP address, it's exactly the same manner. It will show you those number will show you specify the country, the state, the town, and at the end, this is your ID that is unique and different from all other devices. This is the similarity, if you can see, as we discussed before, sorry. This will introduce us also to something you hear about or you know about, which is the domain name. What is a domain name? Actually, guys, the domain name, it's the last part of your email or URL. This domain name system or DNS, it will tell us an idea about your website. Uh, so it will tell us what's the purpose of your website. For example, okay, sorry. For example, uh, for uh, for domain names .org, it's organization, let's say. .com, it is commercial. .edu, it's educational. And that's why when you want to get something from the internet, they tell you, please don't get it as .com. It's not reliable because .com, it's commercial. Anyone can open a .com website, but not anyone can open .org. Of course, not anyone can go for .gov. It's for government. It's governmental use. Not anyone can go for .edu. It should be a university or school or whatever. So that's why the last part of your URL can show you, or can show us what's the type of your internet. And at the last part of our lecture, we are going to now discuss the firewall and the VPN. What is a firewall? What's a VPN? So as we said, we had at the beginning a common communication. We had a common language we are talking with, common naming, but increasing that PC in this huge number led to a huge problems in the case of security. Now we have millions and millions of PCs connected all to each others. Anyone can send you something to your PC in order to affect it negatively, maybe, or it's a virus or malware or I don't know what. So this introduced us into new problem that need a solution, and one of those solution is the firewall. A firewall is a network security device. It could be hardware, it could be software. It monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic and decides whether it allows or blocks traffic based on defined set of security rules. A firewall, as we said, can be hardware, software, or software as a service, a SaaS, cloud, or public or private cloud. Firewall controls the flow of traffic. It will watch who's coming in. It will check him. Okay, if it is harmful, it will block them. It will block the websites. It will not allow you to go to those websites. It operates usually a number of layers and activate filtering technologies. It filters the website that you can or you can't use. As for firewall, as we said, it used to block the websites. What if I want to check those websites, but I want to protect my identity? Another way of protection we can use is the virtual private network, a VPN. Opposite to what firewall works on, a VPN does not work on blocking websites, but it works on hiding your IP address. So opening a VPN, let's say this website is blocked for those trying to connect outside, let's say, Lebanon. So if you're in, let's say, Germany, and you want to connect the website, the VPN, the firewall will block you. You are not allowed to go there. So if you download a VPN and you fake the firewall, you fake them, you say, okay, I want to connect to VPN. I tell him, please give me a fake IP address which will show that I am in Lebanon. This thing will allow the user to access this restricted place. So it's used to provide secure network links across network constructed on top of existing network, uh, like the one of those protocols is IPsec or PPTP. Those are protocols used by VPN. As we said, the difference between those two: VPN focuses on private connection while firewall blocks website. Uh, Use your choice to block access to certain websites for firewall. As for VPN, you can access the same site over a long period of time, but in a private connection. So this is what a VPN works on. If you are connected, it will uh, give you an IP secured over TCP/IP. It may connect you from outside your country to help you enter a website with protection. That's our lecture. If you have any questions, please let me know, and see you in the next lecture.